Hi everyone, today we're going to discuss the various types of taxes, but first a quick look at the history of taxes in the U.S. Congress introduced an income tax to fund the Civil War through the Revenue Act of 1861. It levied a flat tax of 3% on annual income above $800. This act was replaced the following year with the Revenue Act of 1862, which levied a graduated tax of 3 to 5% on income above $600, which ended in 1866. Both acts proved to be very lucrative. It is the 16th Amendment of the United States Constitution that allows Congress to levy a federal income tax. It was passed by Congress in 1909 and was ratified on February 3, 1913. Prior to the 16th Amendment, most federal revenue came from tariffs rather than taxes, although Congress had often imposed excise taxes on various goods. And through many court cases and other congressional acts over the last 100 years or so, we now have the Internal Revenue Service, commonly known as the IRS, and the Internal Revenue Code. One of the newest laws impacting taxes is the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. Now that you have a little history, let's start with personal income tax. The federal government and most states levy an income tax on both business and personal incomes. Each year, you file your tax return in the hopes that you will get a refund, or at least that you don't have to pay too much. But when did you even pay income taxes? Well, whether you know it or not, your employer withholds a percentage of your paycheck to pay your income taxes for you. The amount that is withheld on each paycheck is determined by Form W-4 that you filled out when you were first hired. You can update your withholding amounts at any time. You file a tax return every year to make sure you paid enough income taxes throughout the year. If you paid too much, then you get a refund, but if you paid too little, then you end up owing taxes and possibly even some late fees. Next, let's talk about the Federal Insurance Contributions Act, or FICA. FICA helps fund both Social Security and Medicare programs, which provide benefits for retirees, disabled persons, and children. Your Social Security number helps the Social Security Administration to accurately record your wages or self-employment. As you work and pay FICA taxes, you earn credits for Social Security benefits. There are two perspectives with FICA: employee and employer. As an employee, your employer withholds and pays 7.65% of your paycheck in FICA taxes, and employers have to match that amount on a per-employee basis. It's worth noting here that self-employment tax is FICA, and self-employed people pay both the employee and the employer portions of FICA. So self-employed people are paying 15.3% in FICA taxes. The next tax we're going to talk about only applies to businesses, and it is the Federal Unemployment Tax Act, or FUTA. This is a payroll tax that businesses must pay annually or quarterly to fund unemployment benefits for employees who lose their jobs. The FUTA rate for most businesses is 0.6% on the first $7,000 of wages. Most businesses also have to comply with their state's unemployment tax, which coordinates with the federal piece. Next, let's talk about property taxes. If you own a home, you are probably familiar with this tax. Depending in which state you live, depends on which government levies this tax and how much that tax is. In Utah, for example, this tax is levied on the county level, and the county assesses your property and sends a bill to the homeowner. Often, however, mortgage companies will collect and pay this tax for you through your monthly mortgage payment. Another form of property tax is your vehicle, trailer, and other motorized vehicle that are required to be registered with the state. The annual registration fees are a form of property taxes. Next, we will talk about the sales and use tax. This has been a hot topic over the last few years, especially as online retailers have grown. This tax is collected by businesses and is levied against the end user of products and services. Again, depending on where you live, will depend on how much you pay. In Utah, we are subject to state, county, and city sales tax, and each of those set their own rate, so the amount varies from city to city. However, the state administers this tax statewide and determines which products and services are taxable. So it's important that you read up on your local sales tax laws to determine what is taxable and what you should pay or collect if you're a business. The use part applies to businesses and individuals that made purchases tax-free. Annually on your income tax return, you're asked to list all of your tax-free purchases and then pay that sales tax. However, most people don't do this, and local governments are losing out on millions of dollars of sales tax revenue every year, which is why it's been a hot topic. and why South Dakota took Wayfair to court. In that court case, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled in favor of South Dakota and set the precedent that allows states to tax remote sales. It used to be that states could only tax sales when a business had a physical presence in the state. Now, economic activity in a state or economic nexus can trigger a sales tax collection obligation for companies. Economic nexus is based entirely on sales revenue, transaction volume, or a combination of both. South Dakota blazed the trail, and now other states are following close behind by voting in new sales tax laws that allows them to tax remote sales, which is why you may have noticed that Amazon and other online retailers have added sales tax to your purchases. Luckily for small businesses, most states have an elimination clause that does not put an undue burden on small businesses. Also, there are some amazing companies out there that are writing software programs to help businesses be compliant across the nation. While we didn't cover all taxes that are out there, hopefully this will give you an idea of what to see and what to expect as you embark on your business venture. If you have any questions, please reach out to us here or at our website at coppercoinfinancial.com. Thanks and have a great day.